It's so nice to have you.
Likewise. Thank you for having me.
Nice. Okay. So, for our guest watching, we have Dr. Deepali here, who's a friend of mine, of ours, Kyle and ours, based here in Phuket, Thailand, where we live. And what's so remarkable about Dr. Deepali, well, there's so many things that are remarkable. I'm going to keep calling you Deepali.
Thank you.
What's your first name? I don't even know your first name.
Deepali.
Deepali is your first name. What's your last name now?
Kapahi. Kapahi and now Jones because of Garrett.
Jones. Okay, yes. Dr. Jones.
Oh, I love that.
It's a very nice name. She's like, thank you.
I love the sound of that.
It's very nice. It's very nice. What's amazing about Dr. Jones is, well, so many things, but one of the main memories I have meeting you was a year ago, I think.
That's right.
I got sick. I didn't know at the time that what I had was adrenal fatigue.
That's true.
But I was obliterated. I was so tired. My dad had died. I had like built this huge business, and then like I had just shut it down because I realized it wasn't my passion, and I needed help. I broke out. I remember this crazy rash for 3 months, and I needed help. I didn't know what to do, and we found your contact.
Yeah, like I remember I was on the boat.
she was on a yacht and gets our phone call from my boyfriend's father's girlfriend,
yes.
Polly, who's amazing. She's an amazing human being. I should bring her on too. She's actually a cancer survivor, and wow. She overcame it with a lot of mindset practices and community, which I think is a big deal, which is something Dr. Jones is building as well here in Phuket.
That's right.
But amazing, because I needed help, and you answered the call, and turns out you're less than 10 minutes from our house. Like, this is our house. Welcome to our living room.
That's beautiful, by the way.
Thank you. You should see me this morning, like, making it nice. And we ended up going over there for IVs. And I remember talking to you, which I want to apologize for because I feel like I was so erratic on that call. I was like, what I need is help. I need someone to help me, you know? And you were there. I remember you messaged me afterwards even, you know, like you got us. I mean, maybe you can, like, it was just such a memorable experience.
I would just say, like, I was with my in-laws on the yacht, at the yacht.
I apologize.
And no, not at all. Like, you know, it comes naturally. It's like my passion. And if like what you said, really, thank you. Actually, I literally had goosebumps when you mentioned that, you know, because all a healthcare professional needs at the end of the day is appreciation when they see, like when I hear the feedback from all my guests, like, you know, and Jessica is very dear friend and a guest back then and now too. And it was amazing, like that when I could see that I could help her. And I remember that it was difficult with the needles, and I was quite like, I was on the call with my nurse just to ensure that you're comfortable. It was just a pity that I couldn't be there at that point of time, but like I was not there like physically, but virtually all my mind, everything was with her at that point of time, and all I wanted was to just make her feel better. And then we kept in touch with each other, and honestly, I have to say that I love like motivating people for ambitious, especially when it comes to women. Yes. And when I talked to Jessica, I found that, oh, this is another me, you know? It was amazing, like, you know, like we just clicked so quickly, and it was just like, it doesn't happen that often that you click to someone who's just like as motivated, as ambitious, and want to do something and, you know, motivate others too. It's not just for yourself, and want to give back to the society. Yeah. And now I'm here today, and I'm super happy being here, and like really want to thank you for that. Like at least thinking that like I can be somebody who can be here at this your platform, and I really appreciate that you really thought about me and thought that we can make a difference to other people's life. Yeah. And this is something I really love, which is this healthcare. And the truth is that I started my career being into conventional medicine and running big hospitals in the executive team and doing actually everything. But one thing is when you're working in hospitals and into deep depths, you actually get to know the insides. Yes. And I also learned a lot with my experience. I was very fortunate to have met like doctors, from all over the world, different nationalities. I used to take care of like 72 doctors from 30 different nationalities. So it was really an exposure, which make me like, just learn and learn. One key thing I feel is all about you never stop learning.
Yeah, exactly.
And never being shy to admit something you don't know.
That's right.
So I think it has to be like, you should be able to shout for help when you need. And it's great being into health professional. And as I said, I was just mentioning to Jessica before that how scared I was, how nervous I was in the past, when I just started everything. And now I have my own lifestyle clinic, and I'm so happy that I could actually help guests and support them with everything, with all the knowledge I got. And if in case there is anything I'm not sure about, I ask for help.
Right.
And the other thing what I feel is super important is personalized care. Everybody is different. We should not be treating people as like everybody is same. You might react to differently with certain kind of vitamins, and I might react differently. It's all about how we are. And a lot of things depends in general, like with our health. It's all about, of course, like one thing is like all the vitamins and everything, it adds on. It's like a booster to your life. But the most important thing is the food, what you eat. It's very, very important. And most of the people fail there because they don't realize that how food can actually affect your gut health, your brain, your thinking, everything. It revolves around that.
Interesting. Actually, that's a very interesting point. You brought up several interesting points, but could you give an example or a use case of when vitamins, NAD, different IV drips might, like how they differ between people? I don't know if you can share an example of a certain type of vitamin or supplement.
It all depends on actually the symptoms of a person. For example, a person who is suffering from cancer, NAD is not the good IV treatment for them.
Why?
Because NAD, we all have NAD in us. It regenerates your cell. And the last thing you want to do for any cancer patient is to regenerate those cells.
Oh, interesting.
Right? And that's like one of the things. But also like several vitamins, for example, I might need vitamin C and B12, but someone else might need maybe doesn't need vitamin C because it can cause dehydration. Somebody coming in with a migraine, for example, you wouldn't do vitamin C. You would just do a high dose of all the super Bs, in a different kind of solution, not even NSS. You might do D5W, So it's all it all depends what a guest would need. It all depends on the kind of symptoms a guest would be coming in with. Not everybody needs an NAD. For example, if you bring a 15-year-old to me, and it happens, a lot of people would bring their teenagers and would ask to do NADs and several things, but the fact is that they already have much NAD in their body itself. Why do you want to add on to it when people don't need anything?
Right.
So the most important point I feel is only prescribe or get something to people which they actually need. And you have to be very careful and very listening to people when they talk about their symptoms.
Yeah.
But the most common ones I have heard is generally it's fatigue, it's insomnia. Everybody has stress nowadays. So how do you really manage your stresses? So everything revolves around those couple of things.
Yeah.
But vitamin differs from person to person. I might need a high dose vitamin C of 25 grams, but you might not be the same. You might just need 10 grams. But it all depends on the symptoms, on the results.
Yeah.
We should not be treating every single guest as we should be actually treating every single guest as a personalized service depending upon what are their needs.
Yeah.
Everybody has different kind of needs. It all depends on the kind of food they're eating, the lifestyle. Somebody who's already very energetic would not require NAD, for example.
No.
They might just need to calm themselves down with anxiety and stress, just some vitamin C's and B's, and calcium and magnesium, which really helps with the bloating, with sleep better. So it needs to be customized as per
patient.
As per patient.
Interesting. So just quickly to paint a picture for our audience, Dr. Jones and her husband, they're actually 1 year, you guys just came up on your 1 year anniversary.
1 year anniversary.
That's adorable. Right. I think we had just met.
Yeah, I feel like it was yesterday.
Like yesterday.
Yeah.
I know, I can't believe it either. It's been almost a year in this house. It's amazing. But so maybe you could tell us about your clinic and your project that you're building, because
okay,
yes.
I will start from the beginning how it all happened.
And your philosophy behind your treatment center there.
Sure.
Yeah.
So we started this project in Pasak Soy 8 in Chilangplay. It all started about after COVID, as I think we all did.
Like we all rearranged.
It was an evolution. I never felt that COVID was on the downside. It actually like brought the real self out of you. I was working at Thanapura, and so does my husband. He used to run Thanapura from past 7 years, not just Phuket, but Singapore, China, and he was expanding with that vision. I was brought in by Edgar Terrell, with whom I actually worked in Maldives too. And I was brought in as a clinic director, where I learned a lot about functional medicine and running the clinic. And then one day, it was just that COVID hit, and everything, we had to take a different direction. So I moved to Bangkok and worked there as a chief operating officer and started running anti-aging clinics. And that made me feel that actually, and we also opened a clinic at Amanpuri Resort while I was working at Thanapura. And my husband started his passion is all about IT. And that's how he started his first company, Digital Ops. And through that software, we were providing swimming and tennis coaching. And that's all it's all started. And because we are all coffee lovers, we said, okay, like it would be nice to have a coffee for ourselves every morning. And that's how the cafe started. And people just start coming in at 7 a.m. because in Phuket, like it's hard, like anything is open in the morning. So once we did the digital ops, it just got like expanded. There was such a huge demand. We have like tie-ups with 32 different resorts, but it was so hard to find a tennis court. And even if you do, it's like really expensive in like high season. You barely get any courts. So we thought, okay, we'll just open one court. Let's start from there. That was our first like company we opened.
And it's an Olympic size.
Yes, that's right. It's a USA Open. It's called Lake Hole Gel. So nobody has that in Thailand just yet. So we were the first ones to have it. So cheers.
Cheers.
So that was like, and who knew that, that would bring us open doors for us for so many things. And just like, we wanted to just have one court, and we just announced about the one court, and we were just like fully booked, like on the appointments, and we just didn't even started construction yet. And we said, okay, let's do 2, and then 3, and then it just got busy and busier, and like we said, okay, like screw it, we'll do 6. So we ended up having 6. So we are already like started up the first 3 courts, and it's in working. We have our cafe, and me and my husband were about to get married, and like of course, like any other couple, we wanted to stay together and like build our family. So that was one of the reasons that everybody started asking my husband, where should we go for health actually? What's the best clinic? And my husband looking at everybody, like, he looked at me and he was like, actually, you know what, like, that's a great idea. Why don't we just have something of our own, like, in here, and you would be closer to me, we can live together. And I was like so worried because he left his job, and I was like, oh my God, you left your job and you want me to do it the same? How are we going to survive, So there was a lot of uncertainties, but I have realized one thing. You need to have one person who is quite supportive. And I just thank my husband to be there with me throughout. He made me believe that, this would be the best thing ever, And I come from a business background. We have cosmetic factories back in India. And I always wanted to open my own business, but I'd never realized that I would do that at the age of 33. And now I could really vouch for it. That was the best decision ever in my life.
That's amazing.
Like, I worked for this is like, as I said, healthcare has always been my passion. It doesn't come across as work. So even if I have to work 12 hours, 14 hours, it was never a problem for me, not in the slightest.
I know.
So it was like so amazing to just work for yourself. Like my husband convinced me that, why don't you want to do for yourself? We can start something small. And like, I would be happy to tell that now we are building a fresh, new literally 5 times bigger clinic, which is like under construction right now, and we would finish by January, and we're going to move there pretty soon. I literally started from a house where we used to live. So it was just across the cafe, which is literally like 50 square meters, to be honest, no joke. You know, Jessica has seen it, right?
You live there?
We used to live there.
That's so amazing.
Like
all good businesses.
My husband moved from Anchon to that small, little, very cute, cozy house.
Yeah.
And when we thought about that, like, you know, where we should be opening the clinic, that was the first, my husband said, that's the best place because we had so many memories there with our little cats, and that's how everything evolved and started. And whenever we had to travel back and forth from Bangkok because I was working in Bangkok and he was here. And that all came together so well. Like our first thought was number one, it's always guest as a priority. So we thought, what would our guests would need? A cozy place, a nice cup of coffee, tea, like they can have their breakfast while they're doing their IVs, they can have their conference calls. And like that really worked well. I have like a lot of GMs coming now to the clinic just like because they can feel what feedback I get from people right now is like it's a cozy place. It doesn't seem like a hospital or a clinic, and we purposely made it that way. And I was talking, so it was like this. So the first was a digital ops, and then we opened SSP, which is Science Sports Tennis Academy, and the third one was Live More. So we finally like turned out to be like opening 3 different businesses at COVID time all at once. But it was just, I think, like the motivation and knowing that we have, me and my husband, that we have each other's back. We were quite confident that like we would be able to make it work. Or if not, like there is always a little change and tweak. There is never something called as failure. So that's what my husband always motivated me and taught me. When I used to be scared, he said, oh, there is never something called as failure. You can always tweak things as you need. So that confidence actually like made everything happen. And now one thing what we learned a lot was that everything needs to be under one roof. Like people love when everything is under one roof. They don't have to really go anywhere. So right now we are having our IT company. We use the same software for clinic, for cafe, for like accounting, finance, every single thing, booking appointments. And I like at the clinic, I'm the one like using it like by myself. And it's such an easy software. I've never used something that simple before in my entire medical clinic of like 15, 16 years.
That's amazing.
So, you know, and that was another like confidence level, like we achieved little bits, but we were very happy with that. And one thing which was very good from my husband's side was that he's very good in bringing up people, a team together. Wow. And I talk about always like you can never achieve something just by yourself. It has to be a team effort. So he brought the right people in, the right puzzles for everything. And since with the experience in Thanapura, we knew that when you're having a tennis academy, health is very important because nowadays people are very educated about health. So it's like medical tourism is really like getting popular. So right now, we are having 6 courts, a clinic, cafe with healthy food and other options, all kind of options. And we are building 2 hotels, 19 villas.
I love it. And I'm not done yet.
And ladies salon, men's salon, underground car wash, Japanese onsen, and the Asia's biggest gym.
And
right,
okay.
and we are having like now 2 restaurants instead of 1. So that's like
amazing.
so this is all like, you know, the mastermind. I give all the credit to my husband for that one. He's the mastermind behind all of that. And the good thing was that he brought all the people who had their own expertise in different areas. And having the clinic there, it brings like a lot of credibility to the entire project. Because as I said, like repeating myself, that people love having everything under one roof and healthcare comes along. Even though now when people are traveling anywhere, any part of the world, they would ensure that they are up to the mark with their gym, they are eating healthy, they want to do IVs, and people do feel a huge difference. Like, and then that's the best part. What made me feel more and more confident each passing day was the feedbacks I got from the guests. And I'm never afraid about anybody criticizing as well. I embrace both of it, positives and the negatives, because I feel if you embrace both, the negatives actually teach you way more.
Yeah.
You know, you learn more. You tend to not to do the things, the same things.
Yeah.
But touch wood, mostly I get the positive feedbacks.
Oh, thankfully. That's amazing. Wow.
So it's a lot of struggle, a lot of sacrifices. I know like nobody really talks about like the sacrifices people have made, but I think if you really want to achieve something big, you really want to do something in your life, be prepared to do and make all the sacrifices in life, because nothing comes easy. There's
Right.
always like hard work behind the scene. People might not tell you because you know it, all the sacrifice. And I'm sure like Jessica, with you as well, with all your business.
Yeah.
I remember when I met you, we had a chat about this, all of these things, you know. So it's been a lot, you know. But it's just that how strong you stand up every single time, and never be afraid of like falling, because you know that if you're strong, you will stand back. And I think that's the most important thing in life in general.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So
That's
here we are.
Here
you
we
know,
are. Here, have some tea.
taking a breath.
Here. That's amazing. I love to
Cheers.
cheers or something.
Cheers.
I love it. And there's so much to cheers for with you. You just filled me in on, wow, I feel like your business like doubled since the last time we spoke.
Absolutely. It's just like, you know, it's just like added things.
Keeps growing.
And this is not like, this is not just the first and the last thing. We look forward to grow and have many, many clinics, academies, housing, everything.
Yes.
Because we feel like when people come to us, they should feel that they have everything around. They don't really have to go anywhere else. And it's all about comfort these days, isn't it? You know, it's all about the comfort. It's all about the service. It's personalized care.
It's personalized care. That's
yes.
right.
And I think like people come back only because of the service level, how you are with the people.
Yeah.
You know, it all starts with being a human being, you know, being kind, being generous. Whatever we achieve in life, and I say like, you know, this is just a beginning for us. Absolutely. But just, we're always like down to earth, kind, generous to people. And I'm a true believer of karma. I'm Indian. Coming from that background, I believe that everything revolves around, you know. So if you are kind, you get that back.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things very important in healthcare, being kind and patient.
Interesting.
You know, you have to be patient. You have to have patience.
Yeah.
Everything takes time.
Yeah.
There is no magic wand.
No.
Just be patient and have like confidence in yourself.
Yeah.
And I think that's another thing I've learned, that always be confident no matter what. If you're skilled, you can actually achieve everything.
Good. That's so good. I actually made a video. Well, I started making it and then I was too tired last night because I had recorded previously. But that's the topic I wanted to talk about, was self-confidence. You know, it's like self-confidence is actually rooted in self-trust.
Absolutely.
Because you know you are skilled, so you trust your abilities.
Sure.
And your follow-through.
Correct.
And that's what true confidence
And I think
comes
everybody
from.
can do it. Honestly, everybody has the potential. It's sometimes just that one push.
Yeah.
That's all you need. And I think for me, that push was COVID.
Cool.
And, you know, like if COVID didn't hit, like I think I would still be doing a job at an executive level somewhere, working for someone else and not even thinking about my own dreams. Right. But I'm really actually fortunate that like I'm always grateful whatever I have. Yeah. Small things, you know, we should always be grateful for what we got and just be kind.
And be kind.
That's the key in life.
Thank you. That's what I was hoping to get from our conversation. Well, from all my conversations, but with you, it was like, you know, what do you have in your heart to share with our audience, you know, that you feel has been the key for you?
Yeah.
And for you, like,
it's just been like, I think like, touchwood, very fortunate to have my husband next to me as a support. Yeah. Like somebody who just randomly tells me every other day, how proud he feels. And I think you just need that one person in your life to make you feel that, to boost up your confidence when you in your low days, you know. It's not always good days, you know. You would have challenges, and like that's another thing. What I would like to talk about is like, don't be scared of challenges. It would always be there, you know. And there is never I think like never an end of challenges. You finish one, you achieve one, there is another one. right? Same with stress.
Yeah.
Like I talk to a lot to my patients about stress. Every single person has stress,
Yeah.
you know. It just depends on like what is the level of stress. Some might have a stress that, oh, which kind of car they're going to drive today. You know,
Yeah.
some might have stress that, oh my God, like I didn't go to the gym today. What should I do? It's all about how you manage it. So it's like if somebody tells me he or she is not stressed, that's a lie. I don't believe that. We
Right.
all have some kind of stress, but what matters is how you react towards it. The same thing like how we react to a situation. Everybody has their goods and bad times, but it all depends how you would react into that situation. Makes a huge difference in life.
What process do you go through in managing your stress? So something happens that triggers you, gets you.
So, you know, like.
What do you do?
Yeah, I'm very kind of a controlling person. I want to do. I'm
As I
sure.
would
I'm
expect,
sure. I'm
honestly.
sure.
No, honestly, if you're going to do a good job in life, like you're controlling, okay?
Right? Like, I think this is something. It's like you would
okay.
know.
It's a safe place.
People
It's
who
a safe
people
place.
who know me, they know me. You know,
Yeah.
like I'm a very honest person.
Yeah.
You know, I'm working on it. You know, it's not that I'm not working on it, but it's just that like when you have built everything from scratch, it just comes automatically. You just want to ensure that, especially when you're dealing with human beings,
Yeah.
there is no chance of error. You always want to make it perfect for a guest coming in. And that's what, like, when I say controlling, that's what it is about me, you know. But the only thing key to that is like, if something happens, I don't react to the situation just at that moment.
me
A
too.
lot of people would just react instantly.
That's key.
What I do is, for me, the best way is I will take my sweet time.
Yeah.
I will think about it, and the best time I could think about myself and the things around myself is when I do my exercise.
Okay.
That's a big part of my life, is
Yeah.
my daily routine of exercising at least 40 to 50 minutes. No matter what, how urgent things are, I would take out that time for myself because I know that's my time and nobody can actually take it from me. But it also gives me a lot of thinking time for myself. And I would think during that 50 minutes, like, what are the things which stress me? How can actually I really manage? But for me, doing cardio 20 minutes, like, and like 40 minutes of my weights really relaxes me. Like it's just about not reacting towards situation, think about it and getting back to the situation. I think that's the most wise thing to do, because any decision you take when you're angry
Will be bad.
it's not the right decision.
Yeah.
You know, so you have to calm yourself down, and it comes with discipline, it comes with learning, you know. It's like sometimes you just need to, it comes with experience,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
But the most thing which has helped me is my exercise routine. I never give up. It's been plus 6 years plus. I lost 10 kgs.
Which is wow.
And everybody, like, you know, back in India, it's just funny because everybody thought, oh, I'm malnourished, you know, but nobody saw me as being fit. It's very different. Again, it's
Culturally.
it's culturally, cultural perspective and stuff. But when I look at myself, it's all about confidence, what you think is good for you.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy that, like, I eat the most healthiest diet and I feel comfortable with my own self. That's what is important. You need to be happy with yourself.
I hear you.
Because if you're happy, everything would fall into place.
Yeah.
You know? And as I said, food is the key. Food and movement. Movement in your daily routine. It's okay. I don't expect anyone to go and start running today or like start exercising today. It needs to come from within. And you can start something slow. Like, you know, it doesn't have to be like 1 hour a day. You can start with just 5 minutes walk, 10 minutes walk, but there has to be some kind of movement like which you should be doing, you know. A sitting body like is just nothing much than like embracing all the chronic diseases to yourself. You're actually like pulling that energy towards yourself, which just cause chronic diseases and stuff. And again, like talking to many women, men about all kind of things. If you exercise, you will sleep better. When you sleep better, you will have better hormones balance. You have hormones balance, you would have better energy. So it's all kind of correlated. And people sometimes ask me about like, oh, how can vitamins help with things? It's just about, because as we age, sometimes our body absorption rate, it becomes slower as we age. And that's one of the reasons that when we do IV drips, it directly goes into your bloodstream. And that's the reason that we feel much better.
Yeah.
Our body needs proper nutrients, you know, and if you're not getting it from the food you're eating, you need it somewhere to make that body work, you know. And everything is correlated, as I said, like your energy levels, your sleep. If you sleep like minimum 7 to 8 hours without interruption in the night, that means like without getting up to go to the toilet, sleep and having a good sleep every single night, it really makes a huge difference in your life. Because you will get up fresh, you know. But most of the people sometimes don't realize that they are under chronic fatigue.
I know.
You know, it's sometimes just a lack of knowledge that people still have, that they would feel tired or they would crash around noon time, but they would not realize it, that why.
Yeah.
You know, they keep asking questions to themselves, but they would not go to a preventive clinic and try to have answers for that.
Yeah.
So I really encourage people, like, you know, having a blood check once a year is not a bad thing. It tells you where do you stand, where you need to make changes, because it should not be too late while you're trying to do that. A lot of people tell me that, oh, they haven't done blood checks in ages because they're scared to know something.
I know, I don't want to know.
You know, but I absolutely feel that it would be so good if you know something in the beginning itself, so that actually you can rectify it.
Yeah.
You know, why to wait until the end when you have to really rush? And you know, it's quite stressful. So it's always good that you start early, you know. And I always tell people, like, when they're in their 30s, that's the right time to start.
That's good to know.
Yeah. So that's one of the things. And don't be afraid of getting yourself checked. You might be really good, like everything would be really good and you don't have to worry too much, but at least it's a peace of mind again.
Yeah.
You know, when you know that, okay, things are okay. If you know that you're eating healthy, if you know you're exercising, nothing can go that wrong, you know. But you just have to be disciplined. Some kind of discipline in life is a must.
Yeah. That's really good. Thank you for sharing all of this.
It's a pleasure.
I'll never forget my experience, so I can vouch for what you're saying personally. Truthfully, going into Live More, you get there and you get your own recliner.
That's right.
And like right away, like if Dr. Jones is not there, one of the nurses will ask if she can get you anything.
Yeah.
You know, I've had my breakfast there, and your menu is really good.
Oh, thank you.
Actually, the babe and I, Kyle, we'll walk over there. Like, we just came back, you know, we've been gone for a few months. But normally our little routine is like on Saturday, we'll walk Rupee, our pup, all the way down, and we'll have our breakfast.
Yeah.
And you have like proper breakfast.
Yeah, we have ensured that, you know, again, like me and my husband, we have ensured that we have everything in that area in our cafe, that something for everyone.
Yeah.
You know, that's very important. Everybody is very different, but we try, even if we are making like Thai, Asian dishes, but we are trying to use the best products, where like it's not a common cooking oil, you know, it's an olive oil.
That's really good to know.
Or it's
Thank you.
It's like, you know, just spray olive oil instead of frying it in a deep fry, you know. We are very cautious of what we are serving to our guests, because, you know, we are talking about live more. You know, we want people to live more and be healthy, you know, play tennis, you know, and enjoy being fit. So I think that's little things are the key. So good food is, and specifically like everything starts like what we really want to have in our life. Right. You know, what kind of food I would like to eat, or like I added like all the green juices and other juices, like the fresh juices without any sugar, into the menu, because that is something I want to have every day morning.
Exactly.
Like, you know, after my coffee, because that's important.
That's first.
That's first, right? The second thing I always have every day is the spicy green. It's like juice mixed with like cucumber, celery, spinach. You know, like imagine you're starting your day with such fresh thing. How you're gonna, like, your day would be great. Yeah. You know, you will at least feel good about things. And, you know, if you're feeling good, you would have a better focused mind to actually do anything you really want to achieve in life. So as I said, again, everything starts from what you put in your mouth. So be very careful and be very
careful.
mindful. And it's okay to have a cheat day. Like I do myself. I have
me
like
too.
5 days of disciplined eating, but the 6th day, I would want to have
a burger, okay?
yeah, a burger, or like generally my favorite is just having like a caramel coffee, you know,
Oh, delicious,
which I
yeah.
don't do it like rest of the days, but it's like one day in a week, why not? You know, you have to keep everything needs to be in balance.
Yeah.
If you're keeping a balance, it's all about calorie in, calorie out. So
Exactly.
you know, you work for it, and then you can have it.
Exactly. So it's okay. Interesting. Okay, so thank you for everything you shared. I have two questions regarding how would you define functional medicine
Okay.
as opposed to integrative medicine?
So functional medicine is all about preventive healthcare. It's all about prevention than curing it. Like we don't want, like it's about before you even cure things. It's just that you can see on the parameters on the results that you are not actually entered into the sick life.
Yeah.
But you can actually
you're a
take care
little
that
low.
you're a little low. Like you would see there is a huge difference between conventional ranges and preventive ranges. I will give you a small example. For example, one of the inflammatory markers like homocysteine, in conventional medicine, it's okay to have it until 15. The range is 0 to 15. But in preventive medicine, we say it needs to be less than 10.
Oh.
So that's very important. And the reason only like for a conventional person, it would be like, okay, it's not until 15, but what if it's 16? Then you start taking measures. But for us, it's very important that people don't go beyond 10 so that, you know, they don't reach there where they would have cardiovascular disorders, you know, so we take care of preventive. Functional medicine is all about like you can reverse chronic diseases. For example, I will give my own example. I had a very stressful job before I actually opened my own clinic. And it after like working out 7 days a week, eating the most healthiest diet, I was pre-diabetic. I turned out to be pre-diabetic, and exactly just like you, I was shocked. I was like, oh my God, how it can happen to me? I was literally 45 kilograms, not eating any kind of fats. It was really shocking for myself.
Wow.
But that's something stress can do to you. But I was so grateful that I checked my results to see, and today I'm actually no more pre-diabetic. I could reverse it with certain kind of IV therapies, with curcumin. Oh, thank God it exists, you know, just a bit of turmeric like can do wonders, who would know, right? But that really makes a huge difference. So functional medicine is all about if your cholesterol levels are high and you can see it before it gets too bad and you get into a coronary heart disease and you have to have an open heart surgery, it's always good to just like take actions, take measures. It's all about changing your diets again, you know, doing some kind of physical movement in your body and eat healthy, you know. So functional medicine is all about before you get onto the sick care. Like we want people to be healthy. We want people that they should not get to a level where they have to go to a hospital. It's all preventive. It's not sick care. It's preventive care. That's how I explain functional medicine. And this, my passion comes also because, and I'm happy to share that, my dad is suffering from kidney disorder from 2008. And he has IGF nephropathy. But thankfully, he has been told that it would never be converted into a kidney failure, but his creatinine levels are always high. And like as everybody, parents think that, oh, it's just, I don't know what my kid is doing, you know, I don't know. But this year in May, I had my parents over and we did some kind of IV treatments for them. And you have to be very careful when a patient is a kidney disorder. The kidneys can't process the IVs pretty nicely. So you need to be ensuring that you are limiting the amount of fluid and what actually you are providing. And I could really bring my dad's creatinine down from 4.1 to 3.5. And I'm super glad and happy about it. Just with like some glutathione and ALA, because probably he might be having heavy metals in his body due to our cosmetic business, because he has been dealing with chemicals his whole life. And I just have been hearing that it's all because he has high blood pressure. I don't disagree to that. That might be one component, but I think like heavy metals plays a big role in your body too. like things like rollers, like we use rollers, it has high content of aluminum. So the perfumes we use, we need to ensure that we are not spraying it on our body, we are spraying it on our clothes. So like the utensils we are using, ensuring that we are having a good brand utensil so that when you're cooking, it doesn't really produce chemicals that goes into your body. Again, having a lot of fish, like having mercury. So these are the little things you need to know, and it all comes with preventive healthcare. I've never learned this in my career when I was in conventional medicine, that all of these things actually impact your life. The type of cosmetics you're using, for example, so it's just the little things you need to know. And I think like we are very lucky in this era that people have been more and more educated about preventive healthcare, and they understand the difference between conventional and functional medicine, and they're happy to learn more about it, and they're happy to try it. It's always like, it's never a bad thing having a vitamin in your body. It's like, give it a try, somebody who has not done it, because you're going to feel the difference. It's like, I have used all the IVs like we do at Live More Lifestyle Clinic. Personally, my own experience, I have done each one of them, and I talk with my own experience. And I think that's the best thing you can do. Like, you need to experience it to explain to someone else that what exactly does it do,
Exactly.
So don't hesitate. I would tell everybody, like, do not hesitate to take vitamins. Do not hesitate to accept that, okay, you're in your 40s, probably you need that, just do it. That's the key. You don't want to end up into hospitals and be on a pill for the rest of your life, because, and that reminds me, actually, one of the pills which my dad was taking from last 8 years, that was one of the reason causing kidney failure.
Bothers me so much.
So it's not just about like, having a pill for the rest of your life. Like, how does it make you feel comfortable?
Yeah, what are the side effects?
Yeah, and there are a lot of side effects.
Yeah.
So I always recommend people to just like learn more and see, and approach preventive medicine and trust it.
Yeah.
It has come with a lot of researches. Like, if you go onto the Live More website, you would see every single IV has a research topic with it. Like, there are a lot of researches. You can absolutely read more and more about it. And like, we're always here if you need to know more.
Yeah.
So, and reach out to your functional medicine doctors and ask questions as much as you want. If you have doubts, ask it. It's okay to ask.
Yeah.
Then just be quiet and then repent later.
Right, exactly.
So that's the key.
That's the key. Thank you. I was just curious because I had Nikki on that I understand Nikki's a partner.
Yeah, that's right.
Partner
yes,
at Live
that's
More.
right. That's right.
She was a previous guest, and she was explaining integrative medicine to us, which I understand is a combination.
Correct.
But a lot of people, including myself, my mom was a conventional nurse.
Yeah.
Medical nurse. But she lived in the Amazons for 13 years before she met my dad in South America. And so she ended up learning a lot from my grandfather that was into natural medicine. And so anyway, I just wanted to clarify like what functional medicine was.
Yeah. But there is one thing to add here is like, I'm not like against conventional medicine at all, or integrative medicine. I love it. There are certain things which needs that kind of attention.
Yeah.
And like, that's absolutely great. But it might be that, when you are not at that stage, you might be able to fix it something already with functional medicine, and you don't have to go that path.
Right.
Every guest individual is different. So I always feel like having hospitals or conventional medicine, it's like a support system. There are certain things you can only do in a hospital, for example.
Yeah.
Right. But it goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
But you need to give it a try and see like what really is working for yourself.
Yeah.
What is like more important. For example, if somebody has a tumor, it's already a tumor, for example. Right. You need conventional medicine help. There is nothing like, there is no degradation here for conventional medicine. I have all the respect for it, but I just feel like Nikki said too, like it has to go hand in hand.
Hand in hand,
but be very mindful, like if you can fix something with preventive medicine, why you have to got onto that path. So you just need to choose and see what works for you.
Right.
There.
Yeah, I've always thought it would be so useful if there was like a hotline, like a government or state-run hotline where the citizens could just call if they were sick
Yeah.
And depending on their age, what they have, this person would route them to the right medical physician, because so many people don't know.
Yeah.
It's like if you
That's true.
don't study medicine, you don't know what to do. You get sick, you're going to think ER, emergency room. You're going to think, I'm going to just go to the hospital. But when you get there, like, you don't know what hospital you walked into, and you don't know if it's a conventional medicine doctor, like, you know, philosophy type hospital. You don't know if it's a functional, because I know here in Phuket, there's the functional doctors. There's two Bangkok hospitals, right?
Yeah.
And there's one that I know they have a functional.
They have a part of functional medicine within the hospital, but I think that's very important. Every single hospital should have a functional setup.
And they should send people there first.
Yeah, but
depending on what they have.
But unfortunately, that's not the practice happening.
I know, but this is what I think would be ideal.
That's right.
You know?
Absolutely.
Because we're just like victims. Like, I hate to say it, but like the general population, we have no clue.
Yeah.
You know, unless you have like someone like you and your family, or like my mom and my family, you have no clue, and you're kind of subject to the system.
Yeah.
And
you just follow what has been told to you.
Yeah.
It's again out of fear, out of like
lack of knowledge.
Correct.
Yeah.
You know, so it's very important that you read, you learn. Another thing I always tell all my guests: do not just say yes to what I say. Read. Here are all the articles. Please read about it. Or even if you're getting something, try to learn what you're getting.
Yeah.
You know, you need to know what you're getting into. What exactly does that mean? What it's going to do to your body? Be inquisitive, like ask questions.
Personal responsibility.
Correct. So I think that's the key again.
So shifting gears a little bit, thank you for sharing your knowledge, let's talk about your relationship dynamic with your husband.
Oh, that's my favorite topic.
Okay, share with us, because you know this podcast is a women's empowerment podcast, which means I both want to share amazing, powerful, dynamic women, but also hear like your philosophy and your experiences in having.
I think relationship is all about compromising. You know?
Okay, tell us.
You know, there is nothing perfect. Nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. You know. And I think expecting that, like we have been listening stories, oh, it's going to be like a fairy tale, like there would be a guy who's going to take care of every single thing. I want to do things a little bit different. I feel, and I have learned, as I said, like when I talk to my patients, it's not just about the physical. A lot of patients talk about their mental health too. And I think like when it comes to relationships, it's a two-way stream. It's two people being equal, respecting each other, equal in everything they do together, and one supporting on the other. It's instead of somebody does anything wrong, instead of just showing them down, you know, just pull them up. Yeah. And all you need is just that one person. And I can't really thank enough to have like my husband, Gareth Jones, in my life. I must have done something really nice that I have, touch wood, you know. This person, I'm grateful to have him, because all I've heard from him is, how can I help you? You know, like I remember when I was just starting the business and I was quite nervous, and every other day he would just like send me a nice text every now and then, and letting me know that how proud he feels what I'm doing. And I'm trying to learn and trying to achieve something of my own. I think that's one of the things. And second is trust. You have to trust your partners in the good times and the bad times. It's never a rosy road all the way along. It's ups and downs, but how do you react in the downs and how you embrace the ups? I think that's a very important key. With both of us, there is no competition as such. It's always like, as coming from an Indian background, I've always heard growing up that, oh, you need to take care of the kitchen. You know what? My husband cooks 7 days a week for myself. And that's his passion. That's like meditation for him. And I love organizing. I'm a very organized person, you know. And all my girlfriends would say that, people who know me. And I love to clean. So it's just a partnership, how you both get along and do things together. Yeah. It's not one or the other. And like there would be arguments, there would be disagreements, right? But how, again, you embrace it well. You know, you have an argument, but never go to bed fighting. You have to resolve it before you go to bed. That's our key. We never take our fights to bed, or actually it's never a fight. It's just sometimes just disagreements.
Yes.
You know, and my husband explained it's like, oh, two strong-minded people can have disagreements.
It's normal.
You know, it's very normal.
Yeah.
So, and again, the other thing I feel is don't build your own life. Be confident.
Thank you. That's a good one.
Don't expect your husband to be the man in the family who's gonna look after you, who's gonna get you all the diamonds you want in your life. Get a diamond by yourself.
Get your own, okay?
Get your own. If he's giving you something with his happiness, it's a gift. Embrace it.
Yeah.
You know, but don't like we all expect, you know, everybody expects certain things, but I think keep that expectations to yourself. You know, having an expectation is not a bad thing, but don't be dependent on it. You know, have your own. You should be able to be independent in your life. My mother always tells me, she always wanted us to be independent because I have a twin sister and we were two.
You have a twin? And
Yes.
you didn't tell
Yes.
me? Okay, keep going.
So I have a twin sister, and like when we were born, I don't know how the doctors missed. They didn't knew that they are twins, you know. And when like in the OT, it's funny because they said, oh wait, there is one more, you know, before they were about to stitch my mom, right? And I have no idea how back then they didn't had an idea that there were two. And my mom is quite small, like so they could never figure it out. So at the end, okay. And in an Indian family, having two girls is a big thing back then. I was born in 1989, and I don't know, but like I was being told that everybody said that, oh, give away one daughter. But my parents were very confident. They supported us in every walk of life. Thanks to them, I love them. And they said, oh, they are the princes in our life. Like they're going to bring us happiness. And they always supported us no matter what. So my mom always raised us like boys, not girls. So I always have that instinct in me that mostly like within me and my husband, I'm the one coming up with surprises, you know, doing things. Like he has his own style of doing it, but I love to plan things. You know, you don't have to wait for your partner to do something. Second thing is security. I have heard a lot of girls talking, oh, I'm divorcing this guy because he couldn't give me enough security. What about if a guy asks you about security? What are you going to say about that? It can be a two-way stream, right? A guy can also expect a person marrying a person who needs security. And I feel like this is already insecurity within yourself if you're expecting that. So be your own person. Be happy with yourself first, because if you're not happy with yourself, you can never give that happiness to someone else. And all I said, like having trust with someone is the key to a relationship. Going through the odds together and embracing the goods. It's always going to be everything in life. You just need to see how you embrace it well. Support is another thing. Be always supportive to the person who really loves you, because two people coming together, two strong minds, they can really create something really genius, you know? So that's always been like, you know, and of course, love. My husband is the kind of person who would never expect anything. If he gets something, it's fine. He sadly had a very bad childhood. He had an abusive childhood. And literally, it makes me really emotional thinking. His first birthday, I remember when we just opened this cafe and a beautiful facility, and we were just like settling it up, and I had a surprise birthday party for him, and I got a balloon which just said, "Happy birthday, Gareth," you know. He looked at the balloon, and I was like, he's gonna be like, hug me, love me, you know, and just be happy. He looked at the balloon, and all I could see was tears in his eyes.
You're gonna make me cry.
You know, and I just looked at him and I thought, oh shit, I don't know, what did I do wrong, you know? And he looked at me and he came and he just hugged me and he said, oh, I said, like, did I do something wrong, babe? And he was like, no, actually, nobody ever did anything for me.
You're gonna make me very emotional right now.
You know, and that really hit me so hard that I felt that his stepfather used to steal his toys given by his real dad and sell for drugs. That's kind of like hardship he has gone through. He was thrown out of the family when he was 17, and his real dad had no idea. You know, he's an amazing dad. I love him. And his stepmom is amazing, Michelle. Love them both. And it was really, really sad that he was thrown out. He had to lie first time Like I asked him, what did you actually do when you were thrown out? He said one day he came back from school and his stuff was just packed in one black bag, and that's it. And that was it. And that was his story. And he always grew up saying he's going to be nothing more than a fat truck pig driver. And that stuck in his mind ever. And today, let me tell you, and I'm not bragging here, he's one of the most intelligent person I've ever met. He has no education, but he's very smart what he does. And he's like a self-made man. And that what made me attracted towards him at the first place. Like, he's independent. Like, he did everything on his own. I know if things fell apart, I would be having a roof on my head, and he would be able to provide me food no matter what. Or I'm self-sufficient enough that I would be able to help him no matter what. So everybody has their own stories, you know. It's all about how you deal things in life. Imagine back then as a kid, 17 years old, not knowing much, would have just said, okay, this is my life forever. I have to just do this. But instead, he chose, like, he got that one thing which his stepfather used to say, got stuck in his head, and he wanted to prove him wrong, saying that, you know, I'm going to be a better person. And, like, he has worked as a vice president in big firms, and being in Thailand now 20 years, speaks fluent Thai, you know.
Wow.
It's a lot of achievement. So when I look at him, I feel proud. I feel proud to be his wife. I feel proud to be able to support him when needed, and vice versa. You know, I always know if something goes wrong, God forbid, I have his back. And I think that's the most important thing you can actually give to your partner. Don't ask for things. As I said, we all have expectations, especially like it's a very girl thing, you know. Even sometimes I do, I would be honest. But I always look into, like, if I don't have to be a spoiled kid, or I don't have to be like playing a tantrum if I don't have that. There is always a time you will get things. You just have to trust the process. You have to trust the journey, what you're going through. Everything has been like, it's your destiny, and you will keep on achieving good things if you have a right mindset.
Yeah.
So if you are skilled, you're confident, you know, you have a partner whom you can trust, and vice versa, I think you are unstoppable. You can get anything you want. And like literally today, sitting in front of you, and thanks Jessica again for having me here. I can't thank you enough, like, you know, for trusting every single time. It's all about trust. It's trust in every kind of relationship. It's a patient-doctor trust, is husband-wife trust, it's friendship. Like, everything starts from trust. If you have that one thing in life, I think everybody can achieve whatever they want to.
Yeah.
Right? And again, like, I love my husband. You know, if you're hearing me, I know you're gonna see that. I love you.
Oh,
you
it's
know,
so sweet.
And I keep on telling you, but I'm telling this on camera today, that I wouldn't be here without you. Like, with all your support and love and care, and like when I get more controlling, like managing me, and you're the one who makes me laugh, and I'm like angry and annoyed, and I think that's the best thing. Like, I'm grateful what I have, and it's just lovely to have a little family here in Phuket. I have 3 fur babies and my husband, and good health. We eat healthy, and that's all I want, honestly. And beautiful. I have my passion career where I love the people who come to my clinic. Most of them ends up being friends, like Jessica. And I'm grateful to have all this community in Phuket, really. The Phuket community is so supportive. Like, we won't be here if we didn't have the supportive community with us. And I think people like you, Jessica, and Kyle, that, you know, like, people who actually trust and give you a chance. Because not many places you would find, like, be grateful or lucky that you have people around you who are actually the same mindset.
Yeah.
So it's very nice to be around, like, to be surrounded by like-minded people who can actually help you, support you, love you, you know, and be there when you're trying to achieve something and motivate you. And, you know, that's the biggest thing for any business, anybody who wants to open business and stuff. The first thing is trust yourself.
Yeah.
And trust the process.
And trust the process. That's beautiful. Thank you. And I can personally also vouch, like, you know, you can, especially when I first met Deepali or Dr. Jones, any message, you know, like I'll ask you, you're like right away. I'm like, is she
You know,
like waiting on me?
that's something
Like,
all my guests, like they, even like including my husband, he would sometimes tell me, you don't have to really answer it just right away.
You're like, yes, I
you
do.
know, and I said like, yes, I do exactly.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, I'm dealing with human beings. They are not like, even these days, like animals, pets, they want love and attention. You know, what if I ignored that one message or call and it might be really important to someone?
Yeah.
You know, I'm always, as I said, it comes with passion. So it never feels that I'm on work mode. It always felt like I'm on holiday mode, and like talking to people, knowing their symptoms. And that's, I think I'd like, just like once they say that they start feeling better already, sometimes it's just about talking to a person.
Seriously.
You don't really have to do anything other than just like, sometimes it's just hair, not hair.
Yeah.
You know, you just have to talk to a person. And I do have a couple of guests who actually come to the clinic just so that they can talk to someone.
Really?
You know, and it's really important, you know, being there for your people. Yes, I totally understand. But, you know, my philosophy is always like, you have to do it tomorrow. Why not now? You know, why to make people wait for anything? And I personally like, you know, I like replying instantly, that's just me. You know, I don't want my guests to wait for anything. I want to be there. Like, it's a proactive approach. And I've always been like that. It's always like, you know, I've learned a lot with that. And I feel that people are grateful. And it's funny that you said that, because some of my guests, like, they were actually going to our tennis coaches and saying, Deepali is always there. Like, sometimes people would text me and say, even right,
go home.
They will just ask me questions and they would just put there as a note, you don't have to text tonight. You know, you can let us know tomorrow, because they know that if I look at the text, like, you know, if it's not past my bedtime, I would text them even if it's like 11ish or 10ish, you know. So that's how I have been born and brought up. Like, it's just me. I think it's just like, I can do that because I love what I do. Again, like, everything is passion. If you have passion for something, and I'm so happy that I could finally see what I really want to achieve in my life and what I really want to take my career forward with. And of course, it's absolutely something to give back to the society, love them, be kind, generous, and help everyone in all the ways you can. You know, so I'm very happy that actually, like, you know, that's the trust part where it comes from. People know that you would be there when they need you, you know. So even though, like, I'm on my holidays and stuff, but I'm always available for all my guests.
I love that you call them your guests. They're patients, you know, but you call them your guests,
I don't
which is wonderful.
I know, like,
guests.
it's again, like, you know, like a customer service.
It is, because that's what it is. Everything is customer.
I've always been into like healthcare and hospitality, so it's just the hospitality side of me. And I love calling them guests.
That,
you know,
because then they're your guests.
Yeah, because you know, like, I'm sure, like, I wouldn't like to be called as a patient. You know, that's like a little offensive sometimes. Like, I'm not even like, if Jessica has seen the clinic, like, I don't even, when you enter the clinic, you don't feel like you are in a clinic setup. You feel like you're in a cozy home, you know, where you can get everything, and it's like, you know, makes you feel at home. And I think that's half of the things get sorted there, you know, when you feel like you have a comfortable place. Because I think that's very important for everybody. And that's why, like, you know, I love guests. It's nice.
It's cute. You kept saying it. I was like, that's beautiful.